Hey guys, what's up? Welcome to the channel, or welcome back to the channel. Today we're talking about the top 5 places to live in Lake of the Ozarks. Let's check it out. All right, hey guys, my name is Scott, and if this is your first time visiting the channel, welcome, thank you, and while you're here, do me a favor and hit the subscribe button along with that notification bell, because every week I'm dropping a new video telling you everything you need to know about moving to or living in Lake of the Ozarks. We are also a group of licensed lenders and agents, so as much as I love making these videos, I would love more to help you with your lending or real estate needs. So that number popping up below, I am the guy that'll answer the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. If there's a question, a scenario, or just something I can do, please don't hesitate to reach out and let me know. In the meantime, we just wanted to do a video on maybe some of the top 5 places to live in the Ozarks, and obviously this is going to be different for everybody. It's depending on who you are, what you're looking for. So maybe my top 5 isn't your top 5, and maybe my top 5 is really just 5 places to potentially look at and live if you're thinking about relocating. And so first things first, let's go ahead and pull up a map of Missouri. When you're looking at the state, you got Kansas City and St. Louis on one side. So go to the middle, go down, that's where you're gonna find the lake. When you look at the lake, I'm always talking about this thing looking like an ancient Chinese dragon. So different parts of the lake equal different parts of the dragon. And the first place that we wanna look at is the town of Camdenton. So if you're looking at the dragon, let's go all the way down to the very bottom, maybe the legs of the dragon. And that's where you're gonna find the town of Camdenton. Now, we love Camdenton. It is a great, small Midwestern vibe town that's got great sense of community. Schools from K through 12 in Camdenton. You have all the amenities that you're looking for with grocery stores and restaurants and things to do and parks, and like such a super cool small town feel, but almost on the outskirts a little bit of the congestion of the lake. And so if you're looking for a little bit of separation, but you don't want to be too far away from those amenities, Camdenton could be a really great option. And when you look at Camdenton, you have Highway 54 that comes, north and south through Camdenton. It goes on the east side of the lake. So super easy to jump on 54 and head up into Osage Beach or the Village of Four Seasons, lakeside. And obviously it goes all the way up into Jefferson City. And so easy access, that's an easy highway artery of this area. And if you're thinking about going to the other side of the lake, you can head out Highway 5 and that'll take you to the other side of the lake. So we talk about it all the time, right? It's not easy getting around, or you got to be careful of how you go about kind of crossing the water or getting to different parts of the lake. Camdenton is one of those places where, again, it has everything you need. It has this sense of community, it has this small town vibe, this Midwestern feel, great people, but also very easy access to different parts of the lake depending on which direction you want to go. And if you're finding a property that's off the lake, in the town, or in the surrounding areas, there's a great options. Obviously if you found something that was lakefront down in the Camdenton area, that waterway is going to be a little less congested, a little less crowded, easier for those boating activities like surfing and wakeboarding and tubing and playing with the kids and doing certain things. So man, it's a super cool place. Definitely something that you should put into your top 5. Obviously, we wanted to talk about it first thing. So moving away from Camdenton, you're going to go up Highway 54, and that's where you're going to find Osage Beach. Now, we talk about Osage all the time. It is the heart of the lake. It's where the majority of everything is. So all of your retail stores, your shopping, Lowe's, Home Depots, Targets, Hobby Lobbies, all of those major kind of retail chains are going to be in Osage Beach. There's a ton of other restaurants. There's a ton of lakeside restaurants. You have the hospital there in Osage. You have a lot of medical facilities. Osage also has schools from K through 12. And so depending on who you are, depending on what you're looking for, some people need to move into an area and they got to have everything fairly close, right? They got to be accessible to get to certain amenities or grocery stores or maybe medical facilities, like whatever that looks like. Osage Beach is going to be the heart of the lake. It's going to be where the majority of tourism comes into play. It's going to have the majority of restaurants and things to do. And so, depending on who you are and what you're looking for, you got to come in, you got to check out Osage because it's going to be a great option. Now, moving away from Osage, the next place we wanted to talk about is the Village of Four Seasons. And again, if we pull up a map of the area, you can tell the Village of Four Seasons is this peninsula that kind of comes off of Highway 54. So very desirable area, high trafficked area, but it's set off a little bit from Highway 54. So a little less congestion than Osage. And it's because that if you don't have a reason to go out on that peninsula, then there's no reason, right? So it's going to be the majority of people traveling up and down Highway 54, and you'll feel like you're in your own kind of separate world there in the Village of Four Seasons. And so, looking to relocate permanently, you want to move your family down here, you want some lakefront property, man, the Village of Four Seasons has got to be one of the top places for you to look at. I know I'm talking about it as a number 3, but man, super cool area, very desirable. Some amazing homes that are in this area. The waterway up here is obviously a little bit heavier trafficked as well. So just some things to think about, right? We look at the Dragon, you got the head, neck, and belly area, which is going to be majority of lakeside restaurants. It's going to be a high trafficked waterway, but a very desirable place to live. You have, again, everything super close by. You have tons of amenities. We got golf courses out there on the Village of Four Seasons. And so as far as things to do and activities and lifestyle, man, you really can't beat the Village of Four Seasons. So as you come around to the backside of the lake, another place to think about is going to be Sunrise Beach. Now, Sunrise Beach is a unique spot because part of Sunrise Beach touches kind of the neck area of the lake, and then the southern part of Sunrise Beach is more towards maybe the tail of the lake. So depending on where you are in Sunrise Beach, depends on obviously how busy the waterway is, depends on how close you are to other amenities, but one thing to think about in Sunrise is you're now on the other side of the lake. So now you're on the west side of the lake. You're away from more of those retail stores. You're away from more of the congestion on the streets. And so if you want to be down in the area, but you don't want to be in the heart and you want to have the extension, then obviously Sunrise Beach is going to be a great area. Now, we talked about it earlier, depending on where you have to go and how to travel around the lake. One part of Sunrise Beach towards the northern side is the bridge that's going to cross over the lake into basically the villages or lakeside. That bridge is a toll bridge. So if you have to cross that, you're going to pay $2-3 depending on the time of season that you're crossing it. Otherwise, you'd have to come down around the lake, go across Hurricane Deck, go through Camdenton, and then come back up 54 in order to get into Osage. So we talked to some people that might need to have access to the hospital. And if you're on that side of the lake, it's just something to think about. Depending on the time of day or the season, it could take 20, 30, maybe 40 minutes depending on where you live and where you have to go. But Sunrise Beach is going to be a great option, maybe a little bit more affordable because you're a little bit more separated from the congestion or the heart of the lake. And so got to be a great option. It's got to be in the top 5 to definitely come down and check out. The other areas to think about and consider is going to be almost everything else on the lake. And if you look at the map up towards the north, you got Gravius Mills. As you move further down the tail of the Dragon, you've got addresses in Roach or Climax Springs or even further. There's a lot of options if you want a little bit more separation. Now, the further away you go from Osage Beach or Camdenton, then the further drive you have to make in order to get to certain amenities. But if you want separation, you want a little bit of peace, a little bit of quiet, you're okay with a 30 or 45 minute drive to get to certain places, then some of these other extensions of the lake are going to be great options, right? I talk about it. We live further down the tail, mile marker 42. So we're between like a Roach and a Climax Springs address, but we got family, I got young kiddos, so we like to go out on the boat, we like to swim off the boat and go tubing and surfing and skiing and wakeboarding and doing like activities behind the boat. And it's easier to do those things if you are further away. Now, other people we talk about, again, they have big cruising boats and they're, 30, 40, 50 feet. So those types of boats can handle the waterways up towards the head, neck, and belly. But my boat's 23 foot. It's more of a surf type boat. So it's not built for that, but it is built for further down the lake. So again, it all comes back to who you are and what you're looking for and what amenity you need from the waterways and how close you need to be to certain things. But you can get on the outskirts of this lake and man, you can find some amazing homes with some beautiful scenery. You could be lakefront. You could be a second tier home that sits up off a cliff and has massive views. And we talked to some folks the other day that wanted off-lake property, but they wanted property in acreage, so 10, 20, 30 acres. Those things are very doable. And And if you're coming from, I don't know, a metropolitan area and you're looking for a change of lifestyle and a little bit more elbow room and scenery and tranquil and peace, like there's a lot of places on the lake that are conducive for that. And so some things to think about, again, it's always back to your why, your purpose, who you are and what you're looking for. But we love the town of Camdenton because it's centrally located. It's easy access to different parts of the lake. You have all of your major amenities, but you got this small Midwestern community feel. You're gonna be able to build great relationships if you're living in that town of Camdenton. You know, we know Osage Beach is the heart of the lake, so all of your major amenities are going to be super close by, very convenient, heavy trafficked area. Village of Four Seasons a little further up, great peninsula, beautiful scenery, golf courses, activities, great restaurants. Obviously just a little bit separated from Highway 54, so you feel like you're in your own little world. So super cool to check out that area. Go around the lake, you come into Sunrise Beach. Great options because you're now on the east side of the lake, so a little bit calmer, a little bit more peaceful, a little less traffic, a little bit more affordable with some of those homes that are in that area. So if you're okay with a little bit of a drive to different things that you might need that are in Osage, hey, gonna be a great option. And then, man, there's a lot to be said about the outskirts of this area and having a little bit more space and elbow room and having neighbors close but not directly next door. And obviously the further down the lake and on the outskirts of the lake you get, the little bit calmer the waterways are. And so a little bit easier for families or a little bit easier to do some boating activities and, you know, just some things to think about, right? There's a lot of great options. Depends on who you are, depends on your why, and obviously we would love to help you kind of digest and figure out all those areas. And so guys, you can definitely pull up a map and you can look at different areas, but I highly recommend to come and check it out. So again, guys, right, there's a lot of choices, there's a lot of options, there's obviously a lot of things that we would love to help you do. It just depends on who you are, what you're looking for. I say it all the time, we're licensed lenders and agents. These videos are great, but I really love being able to help explore these different areas or answer your questions. Come into town, let us show you around. We'll figure out what part of this lake is going to be the best for you and your why, right? So whatever we can do to help you out, again, I say it all the time, that number popping up below, I am the guy that'll answer the phone calls, the text messages, and the emails. If there's things we can do to help you explore this lake, please don't hesitate to reach out and let us know. And until then, we'll see you on the next video.